You feel me? I hope you do.
Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam!
I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
From Battle Creek, Michigan, weighing 230 pounds,
Rob Van Dam. The whole effing show. Boom. How'd that work out for you, Dom? Perfect, huh?
Yeah.
I hope you do.
I hope you enjoy. I hope
Yeah.
you all are enjoying this Thursday night, which is also known as Trash Night here at RVD.
Devon.
Devon! Hey!
Trash.
Get the
Oh, yeah, it's Kermit the Frog's voice. I forgot.
Devon!
For some reason. Yeah. Cool. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday, y'all. How's everybody doing, huh? Thank you all for joining in live with us. Rob Van Dam. He is a WWE Hall of Famer, if you weren't aware of this. And
Yes,
he's
sir.
also the most cherished ECW television champion of all time. How about that?
Well, it depends on who's doing the cherishing, but yeah.
I guess that's a fair point. But
Yeah.
hello to Maddie. Maddie's in the house. We have Triple E in the house. We have Jem the Dawn. We have Candido Fan. Chris May. He dropped us $5 just for no reason at all. Thank you, Chris May.
Whoa, that
Appreciate
Chris May, he's okay.
Chris May, you're okay. Hey. That's what I'm going to say.
I don't even have a doobie roll for my show. What kind of host am I here?
Bob, what are you doing? This is out of pocket for you.
I can do two things at once.
What else we got here? I want to say hi to some other peeps in here.
Hi,
Crayola,
everybody.
hello there.
What up, Van Dam fam? You guys are good at fucking finding us no matter when we feel like doing the show, you know?
That's
What
right.
day of the week, what time. Katie really liked it when we did it early with Candice Michelle a couple of weeks ago, and she's saying that it's a lot easier for her to make it then, and she's hoping we'll do that again.
What time did we do that at? Do you know?
We did it at it was like 4:30 here, 7:30 your time.
7:30 my time. Okay, I could do those probably on Wednesdays. If we do Wednesdays, I could probably do that most times. So yeah,
Well,
that's something to think about for sure.
Let's do some thinking and talking about that.
Yeah, we can definitely facilitate.
Yeah.
I did present a question to the chat, so if you guys all want to chime in, we're already getting some answers.
All right.
Question I presented. I said, "Here's a question I'm throwing out there: Who is the most underrated ECW wrestler in your opinion?" And so far, we've gotten some pretty good answers, Rob.
In the fans' opinions.
In the fans' opinions, yep.
Cool.
What do you have an opinion though? Who's the most underrated?
The most underrated? That's the question. Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of what I threw out there.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to go through some of the fans and then maybe you give yours?
I have to identify what it is first. I just knew I had an opinion, so I just wanted to lay that claim down first and wait for it to develop. The most you gotta keep him underrated. I think I don't know. I mean, you can't really. I think of the underdogs, like Spike Dudley and Little Guido, and you can't really call them underrated, especially Spike. I think he was lucky to get all the love and all the get as far in the praise as he did.
Yeah.
I mean, so are all of us. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean, I don't think they held back on what he could have achieved. I think good for him. He was awesome to have done what he did. You know what? I'm cheating because I'm looking at my ECW poster with
That ain't cheating.
The Hal Haney RVD. That's a really cool fucking poster. And I don't know, is it Mike Awesome? Could you say he was underrated?
That was my pick, Rob. That was my pick, Mike Awesome. Even though he was the world champ, it just seems like, he didn't get the credit after the fact, as much as he should have, I think. You know what I mean?
I think that's my answer too, man. I looking at everybody on there, and I think he identifies most with underrated because, yeah, like you said, he had the tools, the skills, the opportunity to be able to put it together and go down as legendary on a much wider scale than he really will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you think about too when he left, what the ceiling was for him. Like when he signed with WCW, people were having high expectations of him outside of it, and doing what he could do in WCW, maybe be a top name main eventer there, or eventually too he was in WWE for a little bit with the Alliance. I think there was a very high ceiling for him there too. It's just never came to fruition and just misused greatly in WCW especially. So.
Yeah.
I think that was my pick too, Rob. Was that one? But so a couple people here give a good one here. They say Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn is a name. Crayola Studios says if he had to pick one, it'd be Just Incredible, which I think that's a pretty good one too. Frankie Terizo, he says Mikey Whipwreck is one that he thinks was another name.
I'm looking at him on that poster too. I can't help but have this thought sticking out of my head from Jerry Lynn. What obviously I was trying to do everything I could to help build him because that was going to help build me. This is the guy that I'm working with, and I wanted him to be seen with a lot more respect. And I thought he was, a really good wrestler, underestimated. But some of the feedback that I would get from the office, meaning Paul and or Sabu, was that he was like a lot of other guys that I either brought in or were trying to push because they were my friends. And they could have a great match with me, but then the next week when they're wrestling somebody else, not so much. That's interesting. Right. And I know Jerry probably didn't have any stinkers, you know what I mean? Because he's a damn good wrestler. And so I don't know specifically, what to say about any particular matches, but I would hear that. I'd hear that about him, and I don't know, probably I think Scotty Anton and anybody else like that anyway that I was really getting behind, thinking like, man, they said they have matches with other guys and they don't stand out the same way, like they're not as compatible with everyone.
That's interesting because I think too. I wonder how the dynamic would have been too if Jerry had somebody in his corner, and then you kind of maybe bring out a little bit more personality of Jerry too at the same time, kind of how Fonzie helped you guys because it was such a different dichotomy with you, Sabu, and Fonzie all together. And I wonder too, it's maybe that him displaying a different type of person of who he is with a manager or whatever, or valet even, and then that could help. I don't know, maybe that transitions over into the ring work too at the same time. I don't know if that's a possibility or not, or how that kind of goes.
Yeah, I really don't know that I would change anything about Jerry. Really, he's like some people. I don't know. Some people are more polarizing and not as seeable by the majority or the mainstream mass public. I don't know. Maybe characters always are a whole nother dimension. You know what I mean? There's wrestlers that really wouldn't have made it too far in wrestling if it wasn't for their characters. There's some wrestlers that aren't even that good at wrestlers, but they had a great character. Still are. I mean, I don't want to start naming names, but there's definitely at least one on TV right now that's fucking crushing it. and you guys are all loving him, and everybody says, yeah, it's not so much about his wrestling, it's just a really cool character. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that Jerry needed anything. When I was working with him, it wasn't like obviously I was in a higher position on the pecking order than him, but it wasn't like I was a veteran and he was, beneath me or anything like that. Anytime when I was talking with him, he talked like he had at least as much experience as me, and he is a little bit older, a couple years or something. So he might have even gotten in the business before me. I don't know, but that's a big maybe. Like maybe he could have done this or that, but I mean, I really liked the whole package that he was, really.
I did too. Like the thing I think about when he would cut promos is he was like kind of like vicious and matter of fact, which I liked a lot, and which was different than you, obviously. So it was like seeing you guys go up against one another, like your styles were different, but also like deliberate and vicious in a lot of ways. But how he spoke when he did cut promos, I thought was like really deliberate and kind of like ruthless in a certain kind of manner, I thought. And I just think it too at the say, ooh, look at that. You just roll that right now, Rob?
Yep.
Dang.
Yep. Thank you very much. Smoke them if you got them. People that know Jerry personally, outside of the arena anyway, a lot of them know that one of his go-to hobbies, although it might be something you would never really expect, you can kind of see it. And I think maybe if they were going to do something with a character, maybe it would be a reflection of this affinity of his for like heavy death metal music. I don't know what the correct term is on that brand. If there's a difference between heavy death metal music and fucking mesh metal, fucking killer murder music, or I don't know if there's boundaries. But back in the ECW days when we were wrestling and shit, and we'd go home for a couple days to recuperate, that motherfucker would go to the mosh pit.
Wow,
that was something he enjoyed doing.
Yeah. See, that would have been a cool thing to kind of play off of or build off of a little bit, I think. I'm with you on that. I think that would have been a neat kind of spin. And you could do that in a heel or babyface manner, too, with him, I think. So,
I don't know what it is. I could see him more goth-like,
yeah,
looking cool. Big black makeup under his eyes. And, well, I don't know. I guess that's kind of like, now I'm picturing like Kenny Omega's face the more I try and make Jerry into a character. I don't know, but hopefully he's happy with the career he had, because we had some damn good matches. Good matches.
Yeah. And Jerry is such like a pro and everything like that. He's so good at what he does. So, and he's got a great sense of humor too. Greg here says,
"Are you saying that because I'm from Minnesota?
Minnesota, don't you know?
That's my Jerry Lynn. Oh, I'm from Minnesota."
Hey, how was Minnesota, by the way? We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a good con, WrestleCon. I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Got to meet a lot of fans, and of course, RVD's table stayed pretty busy, even when other tables were a little bit slower. That usually is the case. Got to see some cool people. My whole row would have been girls all the way down to Kyoto at the very end, the official border. Except for Rhino had to sit next to me and kill it for me, and I'm like, dude, you're cramping my style, bro. But it was cool to see him and Chavo. And matter of fact, did you get the stuff I mailed you? I emailed you.
I did. I got the 2 pictures that you sent. Yep.
So Sunday night, Katie and I were, after the WrestleCon show, going to be flying back to Las Vegas, but we had travel issues, and our airplane got delayed by 6 hours.
What?
And it was already going to be like the con. Let's see, the con was done at I think 2, and our flight wasn't even going to be for 5 hours later, like at 7. Now it's going to be midnight. Ended up being like even later than that, after 1. But what we ended up doing to kill the time was pretty cool. At first, when Kyoto said, "I'm kind of glad you guys is playing this late, so we can hang out." At first, I wasn't ready to hear it, but by the end of the day, I was agreeing with them. And Ray came and picked us up, Rey Mysterio, and we went out and had dinner. And it was Mike's birthday, Kyoto's birthday.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to be able to spend several hours with those guys. It's not as often anymore, but definitely 2 guys that I spent a lot of time with in WWE. And it was an awesome dinner, by the way. I ate way too much. Like, I felt sick until like halfway through the night. Finally, when I woke up in the morning, I felt better, but I felt like I was going to throw up, and everything was just so good that it just felt like I got like the bread. They had some kind of dark bread, but it had like raisins in it. And we're, putting some kind of special butter on that. It was like best bread I've ever fucking had. And I ordered a porterhouse, which, if you don't know, that's a big fucking steak. It's got the filet mignon and the T-bone together with it. Every time I order that, though, I always finish it because it's so good. I think the last time I had ordered a porterhouse was when I had that dinner with Bad Business Bobby, and he bought me the porterhouse because Dildo had told him that I liked those. And so he sat there next to me the whole time saying, enjoy. And I was like, thank you. Yummy. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. This is so good. Enjoy. Yes. Enjoy. Stop saying that. Enjoy. But anyway, oh my God, I ate so much, and then, sides with it and everything, but good time though. Good time. And, happy birthday to, Mr. Kyoto. Long time friend.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mike Kyoto. He's the man. Mike's the man. Shout out to him. I think he's doing a show with Snitsky right now, and he might be doing another show. Stay tuned for that. So keep your eyes peeled.
So those guys were they were close, you know what I mean? Like Kyoto and I were close, and then I would see when he's traveling with other people who his other friends are, especially if they're not friends with mine, just because I don't know them or don't hang out with them, or I'm an introvert, whatever. Snitsky was one of them. Like, he would always talk about him, like a bunch of stories. Oh my God, you got to see Snits. And then but another one was R-Truth. Like, he loved R-Truth, rode with R-Truth a lot. Trevor Murdoch when he was there. But we were at Hooters one time after the show, and it was like the only place really to go that was open. It was a spot where a lot of people were coming in there from the show. Not a lot of choices. And I was there with Kyoto and whoever else. Earlier, Chavo was there. Pretty soon, Mike saw Snitsky coming. He goes, oh my God, Snitsky. He said, watch, because you got to see this. He goes, watch this. He says, watch this. He's going to have one of those girls' toes in his mouth within 4 minutes. I'll give it 4 minutes. I'm like, what? Dude, what are you talking about? And he says, he's going to have the girl's foot in his mouth. He fucking everywhere. He does it. Watch, 4 minutes, I bet. Watch. We'll time him when he gets in here. And he started him, and he came in and sat down. And like, I kind of forgot for a second. And then I was like, oh, that's right. And because Mike says something about like, oh, look at Snits. And I looked at him, and one of the girls had her sock off and her foot inside of his mouth. He was sucking on her toes like right there.
Bar?
It's like,
The
hey,
bar.
Hooters.
Hooters. Boy, that's the last thing you think about Hooters when you go to Hooters and free.
Yeah, maybe some breastfeeding or something, but that's and then I learned that's I learned that about a few people that's something they really like, and I guess he had game, you know what I mean? I don't know how he got the girl's shoe off that quick, but it was something he said to her. Probably, have you ever had this? You got to try it, something like that, and she went for it.
Wow,
I was
man,
impressed. I mean, I didn't want
having
to.
a
I
hot
didn't
wing.
want to suck. I didn't want to suck on no toes myself, but I was impressed. That he knew what he wanted, went right for it, and got it.
Imagine having hot wings and then you just switch over to toe sucking. That's quite the difference.
Oh.
What an experience at Hooters. My goodness, that's fantastic. Maddie, he asks about Ray, follows up about Ray.
You want to? I'm thinking like, if they want to make a statement, decapitate a couple of American wrestlers. If you want to kidnap somebody and make some good ransom, maybe some wrestlers, from America or whatever. And I just, but then TNA booked me there. And because I had this deal with TNA where I had 75 matches a year, they were at a certain price, obviously, for each match. And it was less than what I would have done a one-off with Mexico for, quite a bit less. So I was like, damn, TNA booked me there when I didn't even want to go there. And I got to work for like a third of what I would have charged them because it's spread out over 75 matches and it counts as, as the bookings that they have of me. But it was cool though. I was down there in Mexico City at it's a famous arena, but I can't remember what the name of it is right now. Mexico City Arena, whatever. It's the one, but anyway, like I've been told they don't flush their toilet there. Like they throw their toilet paper beside the toilet in a waste paper basket. And I'm sorry to say that was true.
What? No.
It smelled really.
Oh no.
Yeah. No paper is to be flushed. It smelled really
gross.
Smelled really bad. Yeah, and that's where I met Teddy Hart.
Crazy.
I was outside.
Not in the shitter, did you? You didn't meet him in the shitter.
No, outside. We were smoking a joint, and he was telling me like all this insane stuff. And I was just like, why is he telling me this? Like, does he? I mean, does he really? I mean, I'm almost insulted that he thinks I'm that gullible, but at the same, but at the same time,
Alexa,
I wasn't getting mad about it, but I was just like, bro, like, is there some truth in there to feed through? And he was saying that he got which I think maybe he stays consistent with this from what I understand in his story, but I remember specifically, like he was saying he had a deal with WWE and that he had these big grow cross marijuana fields and stuff. And they got busted. There was helicopters and big SWAT team coming down with ladders. And because of that, that Johnny had to let him go and still paid him the 7 digits. 7-digit contract that let him go and so he just wanted to use that money to run his own promotions and to book guys like me and Sabu, and that was his real dream. And he was really passionate, like teary-eyed while he's telling me about how much we inspired him and stuff. And I'm just like, man, I just met this guy and he's like all over the place telling me these crazy things and then at the same time, like I'm sure it comes from a good place, but it was like, dude, like you really want me to swallow like all that? And so it's because of me. It's because of me that you run shows right now, and that's why you're so touched to be smoking a doobie with me right now in Mexico City. Because you've dreamed about this. And, needless to say, Teddy Hart is a tremendous athlete. You know what I
He
mean?
is, yeah.
Great athlete. And I did wrestle him one time. It was for that Rawway, New Jersey thing. And I wasn't feeling that good. I'm sure he was disappointed if that was one of his dream matches. You know, I mean, I don't have matches that are the shits, but it wasn't like, you know, like a lot of people, especially when they're younger than me and they're inspired by me, AJ Styles, those kind of people, I just imagine in their heads that they're thinking like they want to have a RVD versus Eddie Guerrero ladder match kind of match. And you know, we didn't quite have that.
Yeah. Man,
Go ahead, baby. You in the back.
There's this funny
with the tits.
There's this funny interview that's viral comment, if y'all have seen it, where he's like, I turned down. It's a rapper. He's not that famous, but the interview's funny because it's such cap, so everyone makes fun of him for it because he's obviously lying, but then he lies and sticks to the lie. And then he's like, a big band in Jacksonville offered me a scholarship. It was something like 15 mil, 10 mil, 5 mil, something like that. If you go to school for this decade, but I was way younger. So I decided not to accept it and just grind on the rap.
Yeah.
You seen it?
No.
I've heard about it. I heard that's so funny. I was watching a YouTube clip of somebody like mimicking it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that mimic it. It's such a funny interview. And then the interviewer's like, they offered you 15 million. He's like, yeah, like some shit like that. And then when I turned it down, I was just way younger.
Yeah. It's crazy how crazy those like memes and those things like that go so viral. And people
it's like a viral inside joke. It's so niche that when I see people reenacting it, it's funny. But anyway, that reminds me of the cap that Teddy Hart would say.
Yeah.
Did we turn on something?
It's on.
Okay.
Man, yeah, Teddy was super talented in the ring. He was very, very amazing in the ring. But yeah.
You turn it down, but you got to get it like underneath, like you got to.
But I can't move because I'm an under.
Oh.
Well, I'll do it from time.
Yeah.
Katie, did you have a good time in Minnesota?
Yeah, I did. I had a great time. I love being with Rob, but I was sick, so that sucks. I got sick, but I'm doing better now. Today is like the first day I'm doing better.
Oh, that stinks when you travel.
Yeah. I was fighting for my motherfucking life. What temperature do you want it, baby?
69.
Hey. Nice.
Yeah, I was fighting for my life, but it was great being with my husband.
But if it doesn't beep, it's not doing anything. You have to like stick it up there, like in between the air and the belt. You offered.
Oh man, AC troubles.
Dude, it's so fucking hot. Last night, well, actually, it was fucking.
How do I do it? Are you sure it has to beep because I'm right here?
Even a little bit, even more. Like you're shoving in between there. Do it there, but go to the right. Further. That's where the sensor is. Just to the right. Right there should work. Yeah.
Ooh,
Are you sure 69, not 66?
Whatever, baby. It's so fucking hot. This was at 4 this morning, roughly. 4 or 5, I guess closer to 5 this morning. And the jacuzzi, because it's been so hot, I only have it set at 95. And I went to get in it and I felt like a fucking lobster. Like it burned. And I said, what the fuck? I got it set at 95, but because it's so hot, it's 107 degrees.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy
12
crap.
degrees over what I have it set at. So I turned it down to 90 and I'm going to test it tonight and see if.
That is so funny how you put the gloves on RVD and then you found something to do with that punching bag. Rob is so creative. Y'all know that about him in the ring, but when it comes to decorating his room, he is so fun. Like he does just little tiny details that are really funny. And then also when he's spacing things, he spaces them perfectly without needing like a ruler or something. He just has an eye for it.
Good old
Really?
symmetry.
We were just showing the photo of our dinner with Ray Ray and Kyoto.
I was actually
Oh.
watching.
Oh,
Nice.
Watching from inside, and then my phone died. But I laughed when you were talking about eating the porterhouse, and then enjoy. Like, stop saying that.
That's what it was like. You're making it awkward. Stop.
All right, yeah, I'm enjoying it. All right, it's fine. No,
You said
it's
that
fine.
was like you had one, but you had a porterhouse at the casino in Spokane.
I did?
Yeah, because that was the first time I saw a porterhouse to know what it was. That's how I know you did.
Was that when we were sick though, or were we?
No, I don't think. No,
Did
we
I
weren't
eat
sick.
it? Did I eat
Yeah,
it?
you ate it.
Oh.
Remember, I had the seafood tower, but I didn't like it because it was cold.
Don't you ever bust me in my lies in front of my fans.
Never. Don't ever do that.
Because that's the only way I knew what a porterhouse was. So this is the second time I've seen you eat one.
Oh.
And he always finishes it. But yeah, he ate so much at that dinner with Ray Ray.
I hurt.
Kept eating bread. Every time I looked at him, he had another piece of bread in his mouth.
That was the best bread ever. I couldn't stop.
Dang it.
Fuck pancakes.
Oh,
Fuck
my phone
pancakes.
died.
I just want that raisin bread.
I have more pictures from that night.
Oh.
I saw the one you posted, but there's another one too.
I was going to see if you had any pictures just from the weekend that we could show. Like, we should
Yeah.
start doing that more, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the fans would enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
The
Here's
fans-
the
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Except for the ones that are just listening.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck are you looking at? Can you describe it?
Ray, Katie, and Mike Chioda, birthday boy.
Okay.
Yeah. That was so fun.
What a good time. Man.
Yeah. Kyoto's awesome. He's such a nice friend. He was even at our baby shower, so he's like a really, really good friend. And then Ray is like the coolest dude.
We found out that it's funny because just the way the business is, you know, like I used to see Godfather every time I'd come to Vegas when I lived in LA. But now that I've lived here for like 8 years, I haven't seen him once in town. I never go over to his place or whatever. I always plan on it, you know, but just and I only see him at conventions and shit. So likewise, we were talking to Ray Ray and found out he is 7 minutes from our house. His house.
What?
Yeah, like just blocks, literally.
Yeah.
And he's one direction, and then the other direction, about the same distance, is Greg Valentine.
I just saw Greg Valentine at the grocery store.
She did, yeah. So,
What?
so that counts as
Man.
being, yeah.
Crazy. It's a really small world in Vegas. So Rob and Ray are making plans to ride bikes together.
That's good. That'll be a blast.
It'll be like me and Sabu on the documentary riding bikes around too.
Yeah. I like it.
I used to love doing that at Venice Beach all day.
Someone we do see a lot in Vegas is Brian Cage, because he makes a really big effort, like to always throw parties, Thanksgiving meals, invites us to his house.
Yeah, birthday parties.
Yeah, birthday parties. Brian keeps like everyone together. And then at his house, we see Ricochet. That's his friend. We watched a UFC fight at his house with Ray before.
Davari.
Oh, yeah. Davari hangs out at his house. He's like a socialite. He's very social.
That's good to have friends like that, though.
Carlito,
Oh, yeah,
Ray Ray.
Carlito. We saw him at his house.
You know,
Oh, wow.
Melissa, cheerleader, I think.
Well, cheerleader Melissa, y'all already know she's super close. She's always over here helping with the babies.
Yeah, heck yeah. Shout out to all those people. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, we do have a cool community here.
Did you see what Greg Valentine was saying about his book? Like he was.
No, so I think the bloke did a video on him, and I was like, is he trashing Greg Hammer? What's going on here? And then, but I don't know what's that about, Rob? Do you know?
I just know his side from what he said, you know, what I heard him say myself on video. And he says that there's an unauthorized biography on him that came out that he says he didn't. He says it's bullshit and it's not his stories, and the guy that did it is Kenny
Casanova.
Kenny Casanova, the guy that did Sabu's book. Well,
man.
to that I gotta say, I was putting him down, and then I checked the book out, and then I retracted my comments on the whole thing being bullshit, because for me, he did Sabu's book, and then I'm part of the intro, and when I was reading the intro, I was reading quotes for me, and it completely destroyed the whole book for me, because I hate reading quotes for me that doesn't sound like me. It's like I didn't say that, I don't talk like that, this is ridiculous. I couldn't get past that. So for me, the whole thing was the shits, and that was my position. But when we talked it out on the podcast, and with that lovely girl that I jokingly called a bad word, but I meant English chummy definition. Anyway, I said, when I did look past the intro and I read the rest of it, then I took back my this is the shits review on it, because, and I haven't read the whole thing, but you have to take control of Sabu's dialogue. You can't just print exactly the way that he talks. It won't come across right. And that's also a creative decision that's part of writing. And a lot of people that I know don't care about the particulars like that. And for me, it's just, I'm real picky about it whenever there's a quote and I'm like, you made me sound like a douche. Like, I don't even speak like that. Like, I just hate that, but anyway, but I'm just saying that because I went on air, and if you missed it, I took back my thumbs down, and I gave Kenny a thumbs up. I just didn't like the opening with me, and I haven't read the rest of it, but from skimming through it and reading what I did and this and that, I think it's likely that he did a good job on it. Now Greg Valentine mentions the guy's name, and unfortunately it's not in a good way again.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is like, if you ever get like a ghostwriter for a biography or something, you want to make sure they convey it in the right voice, because that's such a key component to having a good biography. A lot of ways is like, when I read the Terry Funk book, I like could envision, and he had Scott Williams write it for him, but like I could envision Terry saying almost all that stuff,
Yeah.
And like you want somebody that knows how to convey your voice and obviously tell the accurate stories that you relate to them and stuff as well. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay, baby. Love you. Say bye, Katie Forbes. That's a wrap.
Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Just
Katie. I like the shirt.
Thanks. RVD Good Vibrations. I got it on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Hey, damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to go lay down because my little bosses will have me up in a few hours. Saying, "Mommy, feed me.
They're slave
Feed
drivers.
me more. Feed me more."
Love you.
Love you. Y'all have fun.
See ya.
I was just gonna say, Sabu literally made my grammar worse just from just from hanging out with him and talking with him. Like, I used to speak in more proper grammar, I used to say like, it doesn't matter, but after being around Sabu, that changed to it don't matter.
Yeah.
It's not grammatically correct, but that's the way that Sabu would speak. And from being around him, but I know when I'm saying it though, like I have like something goes off in my head that says you chose to say it that way. But it seems more natural just from talking to him a lot. But so when you write his book, you would have to change a lot of stuff because he sometimes talked kind of like a caveman, and I don't think that would come across that good in written dialogue. You know, like some would, some wouldn't. I've had people record me talking, and then when they played it back, or no, they wrote it and gave it back to me, like it didn't sound anything like me at all, and I hated it. And I
Yeah.
told them, and they were like, "Well, don't panic. We wanted to find out what your style was. Let us try it one more time, and we'll do it different." And then they did it where it was exactly what I said, except they might have taken out a little stuttering, maybe made me sound, if anything, even a little bit better. And I was like, boom, this is what it has to be. A lot of people who are the subject of books aren't going to care like I do, you know.
Yeah.
Apparently Greg Valentine does, though. I don't know, though. I mean, it sounds like if it was unauthorized, it sounds like Greg has no means of getting paid from it or anything. And I really don't know the details. I just saw a very little bit of him talking online.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out, like, and get some details more about that, because that's I did catch wind of something going on with Greg Valentine, but I wasn't sure what it was because I didn't want to watch the Blokes clip. But
there's always another side to the story, though. You know, I'm curious what Kenny's is and what the status is of that.
Yeah. If anybody knows, let us know in the chat. But we do got some super chats. Maddie did chime in about Perry Saturn. Apparently, he said Perry Saturn said RVD was the toughest and the coolest. So
Perry's awesome. I love seeing him do so well on his podcast too. You know, he's getting some good numbers, and I love hearing him tell stories too. So
yeah, he's got
good.
Great insight too. Like I didn't know until, who was I talking? Oh, Danny Doring. I didn't know that Perry trained people for ECW. I had no idea that he was a trainer there and stuff.
Him and Taz were always down there at the school.
Yeah. Danny's told the story too, where Taz threw somebody through a drywall. One of the trainees tried to shoot on him, and he threw him through a drywall. So that's pretty funny too.
Yeah. We should get Perry on. I can't remember what I wanted to ask him. I had something that.
Yeah, we should. He'd be a good one for sure.
And he got trained. He got trained by Killer Kowalski also.
Whoa, did he? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Small world. That's crazy.
Who also trained Frankie Kazarian. And I visited his school and was planning on saving up money and coming back to attend as a student when I met the Sheik.
Yeah. And they're good. They're it started. Cool. Akos, thanks for the $5. He said, "How did you know when to go with the flow with creative, and how did you know when to put down your foot and say no or change something?" Yeah, how'd you get a gauge for that, Rob?
I mean, just priorities. There's no telling if I was right or wrong. You know, I could have been wrong in making some of those decisions. I might have put my foot down at times that might have really put my path or my career in a different direction, you know, than it would have went. I could have also let some stuff slide that maybe I should have put my foot down. I mean, hypotheticals are just that, but it's just priorities. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I knew what was going to be. I knew my priorities, and that's part of RVDology 101. I always say you need to know your own priorities, and then it makes things easier. It tells you a lot more about yourself, about why you make decisions that you do. If there's any confusion, you know, some people get married, but if they're being honest to themselves, that marriage and that relationship with their wife isn't the number one most important thing to that person. You know, it could be way down the list. It could be his time with his buddies might be more important to him. his job might be more important to him. The kids might be more important to him. It could be like way down the line or whatever. And if you just admit it to yourself and you're honest with yourself, sometimes it makes things a lot easier. So for me, I knew when I got married that was always going to be my number one, no matter what. So if there was anything that jeopardized that, then I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And with wrestling, it could be like a love angle. It could be a stripper wanting to go home with me, at nighttime. It could be fucking letting the evil ex go to college for 3 months while we were fighting and not getting along, so she could try to pick up some kind of skills since she didn't know how to do anything, and anything that was going to be counterproductive in the relationship was just a no-go. It was like, nah, that's I'm not for that. And that made it easy. So I didn't ever wonder, like, if I have to choose between the job and my marriage, or it wasn't because I had my priorities as a young adult, and I knew that it made it easier, and it gave me the security to know and feel like I was making the right decisions when something was questionable. Like in 2007 when I left WWE, I was burnt out. The monotony was killing me. I felt like I was drowning, and I really felt like if I re-signed, I probably won't survive till the end of it. All my friends were dying left and right, and it just seemed like the business, the being busy, not resting, just everything was like trying to shove itself down my throat at the same time and making it really hard to breathe. And I remember then thinking like, ugh, like, can I just walk away? Like, I've been under contract for fucking so many years. For most of my career, I have contracts, and here I am saying, keep your contract. And I'm just going to take a leap of faith into the unknown. That one wasn't easy to do. And I did a lot of inside searching. A lot of it had to do with my priorities, though. A lot of it priorities and getting in touch with and strengthening my spiritual self, because my spirit was ill. I had the body, I had the physical self, my mind was sound, but my spirit was ill, and I recognized that, and I worked on that and worked on connecting my spirit with the universe, and it guides the path, and everything helped make me make the right decisions on what that path would be. So priorities is a lot of it. If you question some things, then just know that only you really have the answer on which one is more important to you.
Yeah. What about when it came to like super duper, like maybe it didn't have anything pertaining with like, your relationship status or anything like that, but when it came to creative, like I remember like that, like you got like tied up by Kane or something weird and all that kind of stuff. Like how did you kind of delineate that, I guess, in your mind, where I was like, this is not good for me, RVD as a persona, like in comparison to
I hated that. It was the whole thing was just a negative experience. Trying to sell that I was getting burnt, and Bruce Pritchard telling me my acting is the shits. And that's what I was doing, was just looking at it like, okay, this is a little acting part, please, let's get it right one take. Like, I'm just begging for him to say, okay, we got it. Instead of saying, let's do it again. That one sucked, because I was just like hating it more and more every time. But it's not always about relationships, It was like that one. There was, what am I going to do? Put my foot down and say no? I refuse to do it just because it sucks,
Right. Yeah.
But like way back when I started advocating about marijuana, it was when I did the interview for High Times magazine. So I think this is 98. It might be 99. I remember Tracy Smothers saying, man, you don't do this, man. Like just, enjoy your weed. Just, go off in the corner, like where you're not bothering anybody. You're putting a big target on your back by doing this, And I was like, damn, that would suck. I'm not trying to do that. And he would say, you know, you're going to be stopped every time you go through the airport security. They're going to be looking for you. Know that you got weed. You know, if you do this, man, you need to just be quiet about it. Kayfabe. And I was like, but you know what? People need to know. Like, people need to know that the reason marijuana is prohibited is all lies. Like, people think that marijuana is bad for you, and it actually is going to extend their life expectancy if they use it with a healthy lifestyle. And they need to know that. They think the cigarettes are cool and that the marijuana is poison, and they got it backwards. And for me, I felt like that was more important to me than if I get busted or somebody gives me shit because I have an unpopular belief. I was like, no, fuck that. Like, people don't know. They just assume because they say it's the number one most dangerous drug. They don't want to think past that, you know? But you tell them, like, hey, by the way, no one's ever died from smoking it. It doesn't produce enough toxicity to even come anywhere near fatality. It's basically safe for most people unless they have some pre-existing conditions, which is true with anything, you know.
Right,
They didn't want to know that. It's, you know, they just like all the people that they for years and years shamed the THC and the weed. Now they're okay with having edibles before they go to bed, gummies, because now the government tells them, and that's what they go by. Well, if the government says it's safe and puts it out there, then it must be safe. That's what they go by. I mean, and I'm not shaming them, but my interests are deeper. I do my own research when it comes to this. When it comes to other things, whether it's politics or whatever, they probably do more research than I do on certain other subjects. That's because their priorities are different than mine. We all have our own values and our own priorities based on those values.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, and it's like, yeah, and if you know your priorities of where you're putting your foot down on those stuff and where you draw the line, I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, no doubt. Cool. Victor Garcia, thanks for the $5. He says, in SmackDown versus Raw 2007, Snitsky had a sign in the crowd that says, "I have a foot fetish."
In the game?
In the game.
Crazy. That's awesome. I
always wondered. That's hilarious.
What a Easter egg, inside joke.
Yeah, right. Because they didn't do an angle where he had a foot fetish on television, I don't think. Unless I'm missing that.
I wouldn't doubt it if they did, but I don't know.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it seems like Vince would be all about that. Yeah, suck on those toes.
Right. True.
Akos follows up with $5. Thanks, man. Were you there when Saturn had the shoot incident with Mike Bell, and what were your thoughts on that? Should Mike Bell have fought back? Do you know that story, Rob?
I know the story. I wasn't there. I've seen it even recently on YouTube, watching the video, and it's not as, in my opinion, as extreme as people make it out to be, in my opinion. You know, like I think, if I remember right, I think Mike Bell goes to hip toss Perry Saturn, and it's not like a clean, you know, it's like a halfway hip toss, and then maybe drops him on his side, something little like that. And then it's natural in the business, especially when in the day of the jobber or enhancement matches, you know, those guys, whether they're jobbers or whether they're just younger, you know, rookies, students, whatever, usually if they fuck up, then you kind of put the boots to them. You know, that's part of the business. That's really all I saw happen. I mean, Perry throws Mike Bell out and he gets caught. You know, he's like, it's not a real clean. He probably doesn't know exactly that Perry's wanting him to, that he's throwing him out, you know, because it looks like his foot gets caught on the rope or something. And he lands really ugly, like upside down. And everybody remembers that and gives Perry the heat for that, as if Perry took him and somehow threw him out and made him land on his head. But really, that's not really the way it works. You know what I mean? There's a whole 3 ropes in between being in the ring and getting thrown out. And so if you catch that rope and use it to swing your momentum and use the centrifugal force to go from going that way to going down, you hope for the best. And it was a mistake, a mishap. They both weren't on the same page, and that you could maybe say, Perry shoulda, woulda, coulda, maybe talk to him a little bit if he didn't. But that's really all I see as a mistake. And Perry being a little bit aggressive, like most anybody I think would in that position, and then just a little mistake being made afterwards. I mean, I've heard people. I don't know how long afterwards Mike Bell died, but I've heard references as if it was like somehow still connected, as if like he went spiraling down in depression, like after that, like if that started it or that was part of it. And I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe, but I think the disappointment would be in the failure that it happened. Doesn't seem like there'd be that much negativity with it, but maybe if he was hoping to get booked more, and then maybe they're not going to book him with a shitty recommendation from one of the wrestlers, that says, "Did you see that? He dropped me on his head." Like, there's plenty enough for wrestlers to get depressed about in a situation like that, knowing the wrestler's priorities, as we've been talking about priorities. He one time was fucking huffing
Mm-hmm.
paint cans, glue, some shit like that, and fucking put himself down.
Wow, my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just reading about it on Pro Wrestling Stories. They had that article on it. And it said, like you were saying, like that Perry took a awkward hip toss, and then he started laying in on Mike Bell a little bit, and you had him upside down, like you were saying. And then he went to, like, he hit him with a brain buster. Perry hit him with a brain buster and went for the cover to end it. But then Mike still kicked out at 2, apparently, and kept it going. And then Perry ended up like finishing him off with like a super kick or something like that. And so, yeah, it seemed like it was a pretty awkward incident kind of thing, kind of matchup. And yeah, just priorities were different for those two on that one. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It should be something, that you just should be able to say, "Damn it," and then just put go to bed, call it a night. You should be able to just, put on the boots again the next day and go out there and just learn from it and don't let it happen again. It should be just something like that. There's so much pressure when you're in that position to not fuck up. And especially if you're wanting a job, which I'm sure he probably was. But he put so much pressure on himself anyway. I mean, if you remember seeing him in Bigger, Stronger, Faster, you remember that movie, right?
I watched it. Yeah, it was a long time ago when I watched it, but I remember it like being like pretty captivating for sure. Yeah.
So that's Mike's movie making brother Chris that made that movie, and Mike's in it. And he was talking about suicide like way back then, saying that if he can't make it as a pro wrestling star, like he'd rather die, something to that effect. I don't remember exactly right now. If I thought about it for a few seconds, the scene would probably clear up to me. But I just remember like that was like a real downer for the movie, like him saying that. Just like, bro, like your priorities, could use some adjusting to be a little healthier.
Absolutely, right? Man. I know you can't. That's the thing too. Is like anything, especially in sports or anything with athleticism too. You can't rely on that to be your one and only thing, because if you do, you're going to be let down more often than not. And at some point or another, that's not going to last. So you have to find solace in something else, or, again, priorities, right? So,
It's all about priorities, yeah. And knowing your own. If you take time to know your own, which is an RVDology exercise, like one of the first ones that I came up with, just writing down and getting to know yourself, and then you'll see that you stand behind qualities that you're proud of more, because you never really had this talk with yourself before. But you know what, that's something that's really important to me. That's cool. I'm glad that that's important to me, that I feel that good. Whether it could be anything,
yeah.
could be something you like. It could be like looking at birds. It could be something you want to stand for, like um, vigilantes against pedophiles. That's really going out there. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that made a lot of people's priority list. You know what I mean? Um, Man, there's more and more of those guys out there than I ever knew, but that shows up on my feed. That dude, the guy that was with Roger Jackson, Doug Milo.
Oh, Doug Mallow? Doug Mallow?
Doug Mallow, yeah, he does
Yeah.
a show, or maybe a couple of them, but where they set up these predators and go and bust them and stuff, and it's like they're like so like, and they could be like in a range of age from younger to old men to just young 20, anything in between. It's so weird. And then they act like, when they're being questioned, they're like, yeah, you came here to fuck a 15-year-old, didn't you? They'll be like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna stay for this. Like, they think they're just gonna get up and leave or whatever. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent now. It was just something that I was thinking, like, like I was thinking, I guess Doug, and for him, that's obviously a very important priority, and I think that's a damn good one. You know what I mean? That's kind of like a heroic thing. But for me, also honesty is one of my top priorities. So someone like Bad Business Bobby wants to accuse me of being full of shit. It's one, it's not going to be as credible because no one's going to back him on it. But two, I got a lifetime of wanting people, appreciating people telling me that they can tell I'm genuine, and that's one of the things that they really appreciate about me, because it's important to me, because we're living history and I'm a big fan of history. So people that just talk cap and add a bunch of fake shit, they're going down in history as lies, and it's skewing the whole fucking understanding of reality. And it just it's not a crime, but it seems like an ethical crime to me.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, that's definitely a good priority. Is honesty is a key one. It's so funny you mentioned Doug, because he literally, like, when I tweeted or put on Instagram that we are going live tonight, he's one of the guys that shared it out too. So it's funny you mentioned Doug.
Cool.
Shout out to Doug Epic. He was on here one of the shows, so what a great dude.
Yeah.
I saw him briefly in passing. I think it was it was WrestleMania weekend. And he was talking to somebody, and I walked by him at the casino, but like I didn't say anything. So I want to give him a shout out at some point. Hopefully, I get to run into him again.
Yeah, he was at a big time wrestling show that I wrestled at when with Kirk White's San Jose promotion. They did something here in 6-man tag match or something.
Yeah.
Did you also get you got the other picture of Dory, right? That I sent you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, yes. Let's talk about that. So yeah, obviously Dory Funk passed away. It was yesterday, right? Yeah, it was yesterday, I think. And 85 years old. Man, what a run. That's like, and obviously you had that amazing match with him too in 1998, but and you learned a lot from him too. So yeah, why don't you talk about Dory?
Yeah, so I met Dory in 93 when I went to All Japan in February for my first tour. And Dory was the guy that would work out with the young boys in the daytime in the ring. And he also was a booker. Him and Johnny Ace both booked talent. And either one of them could call me to rebook me after the first tour. But he was always there and very instrumental in teachings. You know, he taught us how to eat and you know, outside of the hotel restaurant or whatever. There was a Chinese restaurant that he took us to and taught us what gyozan are, which are little dumplings, and getting the fried rice with peas and carrots and all this. And he taught us how to order it, how to eat it. And so at least we had one place that, you know, we could go when we were young and new, right there close to the hotel, and we could eat. So that became one of the only places I ate at. One time in All Japan, Baba, who was the boss, wanted me to conform my body slam bumps. And so in a situation like that, he would go through Dory. He had Dory tell me that when I land from the body slam, I'm not landing flat and distributing my weight, and so it's gonna catch up and it's gonna hurt me if my heels or my ass lands first and then I fall back or whatever. And so you know, I remember him like slamming me a few times and him saying, well, one thing that stuck out in my mind, he says, well, it's not something that you fix instantly. You just work towards it. Like every night when you're working, you know, just be thinking about it. You'll have it down in no time. That was a Doryism, like something that I would take with me throughout my whole career. Another one, I was hungover and feeling sick to my stomach, partied too much, and we're in the daytime in the arena getting ready for a show. And I remember telling Dory, like, oh, I think I'm going to throw up. You know what I mean? Like, I might have to stick my finger down my throat and just make it happen and get past that point. And Dory said, yeah, he said, you know, I think you'll find that usually by the time it's time for us to go do our job, we're usually able to do it. You know, no matter what's bothering us or how we feel, we're usually to suck it up and get everything together by bell time. And I was like, how could that be like universally a correct statement, regardless of all the factors on whether I got a broken femur or whether you know, I got the flu or jet lag, whatever. But I didn't take it to mean anything to pick apart like that. I took it to mean, you know what? That is some great, like, old school bro knowledge, wrestling, old school knowledge. And again, it was something I kept from my whole career. And it always seemed to be right. You know, like I always say, you're advertised on a poster a month, maybe 2 months ahead of time. People buy a ticket to come and see you. You're their favorite. They love seeing your moves on TV. They don't want you to say, oh, I'm tired. I didn't, you know, or I got a cold. I can't breathe. My sinuses are stuffed up. So I'm going to take it easy tonight. Fuck no. They bought tickets to see the you that you're advertising, that you're putting out there. And you know what? Dory was right. Usually when it's time, you can get to that point and we're able to produce and to give them what we want to give them. So a couple of great pieces of advice from Dory. I've always remained close to him. One time, Johnny Ace had heat because Baba, check this out. Here's some political bullshit. Baba didn't like the way that Dory was doing hip toss. You know, he gets in there and hooks the arm old school style and does it, like hook arm to arm over the hip, as opposed to going in deep under the armpit. Anyway, Baba told Johnny Ace to tell Dory Jr. that he was doing the hip toss wrong. And a lot of people said that was a test to see if Johnny would stoop so low, or if he would say, who am I to fucking tell Dory that he's doing anything wrong? He's fucking Dory Funk Jr.,
Yeah.
Well, Johnny did it. He went over there and was, put it in here, like, you're going like that, like elbow to elbow, but you put it in there, you go underneath it. And Johnny had heat with all the hoods for that. Like, I remember the rest of the day, the hoods were so pissed. They were seething. They were like, oh, motherfucker, I can't believe he fucking did that. I can't believe he got stooped so fucking low. What a scumbag motherfucker he was. And they were pissed at Johnny for saying, sure, no problem, Baba. Dory, let me show you what you're doing wrong. Because everyone had so much respect for Dory, they couldn't believe that Johnny would step in there and try to act like he was teaching him something, So anyway, there's a few stories there, but I got so many because we've always hung out with Dory for years, gone to their house. Marty's cooked dinner, Japanese style tuna wrapped in seaweed, like so good. They always taught me and everybody a lot about the culture of Japan, which they love Japan. I know for a while there, Dory had what I'm pretty sure was Alzheimer's, but I mean, there's always a chance that I could be wrong, but I think it was. But what's the other one?
Dementia?
Yeah, thank you. So I don't want to put the wrong words out there, but for the last maybe like 2 years, I've been talking to Marty, and she was saying good days and bad days, and I saw Dory at first on one that wasn't so good, and then I saw him on a great day where it seemed like he was not changed at all. Last time I saw him, he was happy to see us. Nothing but good memories for Dory. I could and maybe will have a whole show just talking about all the things all the things I got of Dory in my memory banks. Yeah.
Man, yeah, what a legend he is too, and it's so neat because like he's arguably, like, you could make a strong argument he's the greatest NWA champion of all time, and like he held it for like 1,500 days, and like he just like epitomized like old school wrestling and that mentality, and like then you look about it like how he's influenced you, but then he's trained other people too. Like Kurt Angle gave him such huge credit, like getting his start and being in his corner and everything. And then Edge, Christian, I believe there's another name too, but there's so many names out there that ran in and worked with Dory Funk Jr. And there's been a huge outpour, obviously, on social media for what he's meant to the business. And it's kind of, in certain ways, it's unfortunate that like he gets kind of overshadowed. I love Terry Funk. Terry's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. In the modern day, he kind of gets overlooked at because like no people are too. He's such an old school. He got started like in the early mid '60s and became that champion in like '69 and stuff like that. And a lot of his matches aren't necessarily taped and on air in a lot of ways. So it's just like he doesn't get the credit he rightfully deserves. But you see about how much he influenced the business, and like there's so many people that wouldn't be where they are today without Dory Funk Jr. So
Yeah. I watched him when I was a kid when he did the WWE run. It was Terry Funk and Dory Funk Jr. And then they had Jimmy Jack Funk, which Art Barr, I think, was Jimmy Jack Funk, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, you can see us working right there. What's crazy is I think Dory was like 50 there, and it's crazy to think I'm 55 because I remember thinking like man, this dude's like he's up there, he's old. Like, should I do my dive out on him? Fuck no, but I'm going to. You know. But it says 50 years of funk. What was that? Is that Terry's birthday?
Terry Funk's retirement, Matt.
Oh,
yeah, 1990.
Okay.
His initial retirement, Matt.
So what year does it say? What year?
That was 1998, Rob, I believe.
Alexa, how old was Dory Funk Jr. in 1998?
Dory Funk Jr. was 57 years old in 1998.
Okay, 2 years older than I am now. Wow, that's crazy.
And I'm sorry, Rob, it's 1997. November 9th, 1997 is when this happened.
Okay. So then does that make him a year older or a year younger?
56, or he probably was either 56 or maybe 55, maybe.
Yeah, so that's crazy. They're not kidding when they say like, 70's the new 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I remember like in Japan when we were taking the bus, Dory usually didn't ride our bus, but one time, a couple times he did. It was usually the very last show, heading from the big show at the Tokyo Budokan and then going to the Narita Airport Hotel, and Dory would ride with us on that. And I remember like we would have to stop because he would have to pee every so many exits, and we were like, come on, Dory, we're trying to get there. Like, people would give him an extra hard time ribbing him, you know what I mean? Because it's just funny to rib him, because he'd be like, oh, okay, I won't be long, and he would laugh too. But he was so nice. But I remember that he had to pee because he was like, in his 50s or whatever. And here I am, 55, just realizing I'm old enough to go to a retirement community. I didn't even realize that till talking to Vicky a couple of weeks ago. Lisa, you know what I mean? Lisa.
Victoria?
Yeah, she was talking about her living situation. I was joking, and I was like, just trying to sound like I had some knowledge about it, and I'm like, but you got to wait till you're 55 to move into a retirement community. And she looked at me and she's like, oh, Rob, I am 55. And I was like, oh my God, so am I. Holy shit. Like I was joking. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, yeah, we can live in the retirement community, but still party like rock stars. This is the perfect age. Let's do it.
That's it, right? Let's party down.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, so what did you think?
Let me say one more thing that I'm thinking about. One of the coolest things, see, Hawaii is halfway to Japan, right? From the West Coast. So it would be like a 12, 13-hour flight or whatever to Tokyo, or like a 6-hour flight if you wanted to break it up. And Dory taught me this, and I did it one time, maybe more than once. I thought Dory did it with me, but I just remember hanging around Dr. Death, Steve Williams, when I did this. But anyway, leaving Japan at the end of a tour, because they're like a day ahead of us, you could leave Tokyo, stop in Hawaii, and then have a 6-hour layover where you could rent a car, go up to Hanama Bay and go snorkeling and float around and shit, go back to the airport, and then fly home and get to the United States like at the same time that you left fucking Japan. And so he taught me that. It was a great way to fight off jet lag, at least for the day, and that's something that I got to thank him for. Yeah.
What a pro move. That's like fucking, that's when you traveled a lot. You know what the fuck you're doing.
Right. Yeah. When I did it, for some reason, Steve Williams was going to Hawaii too. So I mostly hung out with him. But I think he stayed longer or whatever. And I bought seaweed from somebody. Got ripped off. Yeah.
You got ripped off. Oh, dang it.
Motherfuckers.
Damn.
I ain't forgot about you.
So what I was going to ask, I was going to double back. So what do you think Baba's intent was about? Do you think it was to test Johnny Ace, or do you think it was like he wanted Dory to change his hip toss?
I think maybe both. Maybe he wanted to get both things accomplished. You know. Do you
Yeah,
know like it's like there's like an old timers way where you hook in like you hook their arm with your arm. You know,
yeah,
kind of like around like the elbow to elbow,
yeah.
and then you just drop to your knees and you pull them over that way.
It
And
looks
that's the
more
way.
legitimate. Yeah,
That's the way that Dory liked doing it instead of hooking under the armpit and going up and over. And it was like he didn't want the young boys learning that way. He wanted them to do it the way that we do it. So he didn't want Dory to be teaching them that way. And at the same time, you know, he very well could have been testing Johnny. You know, I was kind of young and just listening to what the veterans were saying, but they were disgusted by it.
wow,
Disgusted.
disgusted. Man,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I know how you're talking about the hip toss because it's just like it's more like it doesn't have the theatrical sense of it like going over a little bit more, and it's more just direct. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's definitely old school funk style
Yeah.
right there.
It is.
Funk
It
Briscoe
is.
style right there. Oh, look at this, Rob. Tony Hayes. Somebody else said this too. I
Tony
think
Hayes.
RVD is sporting the best shirt ever. I need to
Yeah.
get 7 of them, one for each day of the week.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, look, Rob's wearing property of my hot wife.
Is it? It's not a WWE shirt, is it? Somewhere I thought I saw the WWE logo, but
It looks like the WE Performance Center shirt that they give to like the up and comers. That's what it does look like. It's a good t-shirt. Is that on
Nice.
Pro Wrestling Tees? I wonder.
Oh.
Maddie just added too. At some point, he said this. Thanks for the Australian $2, Maddie. He said, "Smoke to that. Have to been one of a kind." I don't know what he's referring to, but thank you, Maddie. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dory. He had. He was like having, like I said, good days and bad days. Marty has always been like his handler. You know what I mean? Like she's a great role model for all wives. I think that want to follow in that footstep. You know, in the business, because you know, like Dory, people want to book Dory. But he doesn't want to be on the phone with them saying this is how much it's going to cost for me to do an autograph signing or whatever. You know what I mean? And Marty's a lot of people over the years have had words with Marty because she's a lot harder to deal with than Dory. But you know, you have to be because Dory was just so nice. Dory had something else. Another Dory is that he told me because he would have people always ask him, wrestlers, if they could come and work in Japan. You know, can you get me booked in Japan? I'd love to come to Japan. And Dory told me that he never says no. Instead, he says sometime. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Hey man, come to Japan. Yeah, sometime. Yeah,
sometime.
That'd be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, well, God bless Dory Funk and rest in peace for sure. What a legend. And it's cool that you got to interact with him and had that amazing match. I posted the highlights on Instagram, but WWE actually posted the full match, I think, on their vault, on the YouTube vault. So that's up and available if people want to check it out. And man,
this match, Dory, WWE did?
Dory, yeah, the one here. Yes.
How did they have that in their vault? I wonder.
I don't know. I think Dory owns it, right? Because we did the we watched it along. We did a watch along here, and it was Dory Funk's YouTube channel that kind of did like that. Said no, we weren't allowed to do that. So
okay. Well, so that for anybody listening that wants to get a quick little piece of history, back in the territory days, this is how old school Dory is. In the territory days, Texas had it was divided into 4, and there was Paul Bosch that ran Houston, and there was the Von Erichs that ran Dallas, and then Dallas and wait, hold on, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio was the
Blanchards.
Thank you, and which is Yeah, Tessa's dad, that family.
Tully and Joe Blanchard.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then Amarillo, that was the Funks, and that was Dory and Terry's dad was like the old school OG. I never met him. Met Terry several times, but I just always knew Dory more, you know. So,
yeah.
so just anybody watching that doesn't know, like the Funks actually owned one of the territories. So that's pretty awesome, and that's how strong rooted they are in the wrestling industry.
And they used to travel around too, like in their family. They had like a RV almost that they would travel around and go wrestle in territories and stuff. And their dad Dory was a wrestler too, and he ran a boys camp too that was like for troubled youth kind of thing. And funny enough, the actor Billy Bob Thornton was one of the kids at those camps. So that's pretty crazy to think about too.
Nice.
Yeah, what a legendary family and everything like that. I love the Funks and man, yeah, it was
Yeah,
such a great part of history.
a lot of wrestlers that are around my age started with Dory, and a lot of wrestlers were like, say, fine tuned and did workout camps with Dory in Ocala, Florida. Um, I remember seeing Mickey James there at a wrestling show that we were both at for the Funks. But a lot of people. I'm always learning about more and more wrestlers that I had no idea that they went down there, even if it was just for a few workouts or whatever, sharpen up. So they loved it. They loved the business, and man, it's crazy to picture Marty being by herself after them being a duo for so long.
So long, and I think too, Rob, they just had a wedding anniversary like a couple days ago. I think it was too. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook. I think so. Yeah, prayers for Marty and Dory Jr. too as well. Uh, Wrestling historian adds that RVD should win the NWA championship. That'd be pretty sweet. You wearing that 10 pounds of gold, Rob.
Is that the same? So is Dory's NWA belt the same belt that they have on Billy Corgan's NWA?
Yeah. I not sure if the lineage of it got disrupted at all, but that's the same looking belt. I think that Dory held. I'm gonna make sure. Well, maybe not. Maybe because I think they might have. See, I'm seeing him with other belts on. And I don't think it's the same looking one, but it is. Yeah, no, it's a little different because this was 1966. I think he held that championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh.
But,
Yeah, and there was a while ago, like 20 years ago or so, I remember where NWA was like split up, and it seemed like almost anybody could claim that they were NWA because it was like in fragments or something, and they were opening up like that. There was like two or three of them, and I was like, is that gonna really hold the value, with anybody saying that, can say they're NWA? But where can Billy Corrigan's NWA programming be viewed?
I think it's on Comet TV is what it's called. And then I don't know if you can access it on YouTube. It used to be just strictly a YouTube show, but I think it's on Comet, and I don't know if it's on Tubi or not, but I'm pretty sure Comet's the current one. Comet, you can check it out on. I tell you what, that NWA program used to be really, really cool. When it was NWA Power, they did just studio wrestling, and like they cut promos. Nobody had theme music either. You just go out there, and the announcer David Marquez would announce the wrestler, and they would just get right down to business. But the presentation of it was so cool, old school, and it was all about personalities, ring work, and promos. It was really, really fun show. I haven't watched it in a long, long time, but yeah, it was a really neat program, I thought. So if you do get a chance to check it out, check it out. Support it, all the types of wrestling. If you like it, you gotta like it. That's the key. That's on the promoter to make you like it. Cool. Somebody that did hold the NWA Championship, Rob, for 38 days, I just looked it up, is none other than this man right here. Oh, Not Dory. Well, Dory did, but Sabu.
Okay.
Sabu held
The
that.
same belt.
It
Or
looks like the same belt that Dory held. Yeah. So it does look
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Because
Well,
like NWA Fan Fest, out of Charlotte, they're like one of the fragments of it. It seemed like there was something in Atlanta.
oh yeah.
Like there was something in the Northeast. Seems like there was something in Florida. I don't know, dude. This was a long time ago, and it's I doubt very much they're still around, but maybe now it's just coagulated.
I think I know what you're talking about. But they do the what is that? They do the Gathering down somewhere down there. The Gathering it's called, and then there's another one that I went to once. Gosh darn it, I can't remember what it's called.
No, I know what you're talking about, but the Gathering and then the NWA Fan Fest are two different things. But the Gathering might take the place of the NWA Fan Fest because I don't think those are. Last time I did one was 2016. I don't know if they're or 15. So I don't 15 or 16. So I don't know if they're even still around. But
they do two big events down south. One's called the Gathering, and then there's another one that I think I went to in Charlotte somewhere, but I can't remember the name of it. Dang it, why is that escaping me? Shoot. Let me see. I want to make sure we get all super chats. Frankie Teresa, we'll close out with this one, Rob.
Well, hold on a second. I got a piece of history.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Hold on. Let me pop the. We got 5-star history upcoming here, folks. Boom. Get ready. Why is it not showing? I know why. Here we go. Boom. 5-star history coming up.
Yay! We need
5-star history.
We need a sound bite with that now.
Yeah, I gotta figure something
We'll
out.
do something. Piano. Something. We're doing this every week, so get used to it, Dominator.
Yeah, you got it.
Every week. I got like shit lined up already. I had to choose from like 3 or 4 different things today. So I'm actually going to show you 2 because I don't know if individually if this will hold weight on its own and if the people will be excited. And I don't want to give everyone their money back for tonight. So, but we looked at the contract that I had from the Sheik's Wrestling School on here a couple of weeks ago. And I told you I had receipts in the bag still. The school was $2,000 and I was making payments. And I had all that in the envelope. And I told you I keep everything. So I thought this was interesting because, well, let's look at it and then see what can we learn from it. Okay. That's September of 1991, and this is a receipt. All right. The 600 is what I owe out of the $2,000. And then $150 is going to be deducted from the 600, giving me a balance due of $450. So at this point, and as far as I know, this is where I left off. I still owed Sheik $450. The $150 from Jarrett's, now that in 91 was our USWA tour. So in the summer of 91, we did the circuit. And Jeff Jarrett's dad was the owner of USWA. Jerry Lawler was there, and Jeff Jarrett, and Robert Fuller, Bill Dundee, Danny Davis, not the referee, the wrestler. I wrestled Danny Davis a lot because he was the light heavyweight champion, and I was in a match with him almost every night, more than everyone else. Dango was there, Sabu and Judge Dredd, the 4 of us. Chris Candido was there with Tammy. That's where we met them. Yeah, way back in 1991. I'd only had like a dozen matches before the start of this tour in USWA, which was several weeks long. I don't know, 5-6 weeks, whatever. See, who else was there? There was a dude named Vulcan that shot like torpedoes. He had gimmicks. He had a shield, a big mask, and like robot Shogun hands that shot torpedoes. It was gimmick, just all gimmick. Gaylord, Jeff Gaylord was there. And Miss Texas, Jackie was there. I don't remember who the female was. Dirty White Girl. She was with Tony Anthony, Dirty White Boy. I think I'll go ahead and actually, also that's where I met Tex Slazenger and Shanghai Pierce,
Ooh.
Dennis Knight, and Mark Canterbury.
Also known as Midian, everyone.
Yeah, little did I know I would be his roommate someday, and his stepdad was going to be taking me in and giving me the name Rob Van Dam.
Wow.
And getting us both hooked up with WCW, actually, too. So for starters, there's a bunch of people that were in the USWA listed as Jarrett's. So I was getting shit for money, but I was just starting out, you know. Evansville, Indiana was every Tuesday. I got $15. That's what I got paid one time.
Wow.
Yeah. The most that I got paid was in Memphis. We had a really big crowd one time, and I got $70. But back then, in that first year of really being on the road on tour like that, I learned to have pictures and merchandise on the table and double my payoff. So that $70 was $140, and even the 15 was $30. I was doubling my payoff by selling little pictures of me in the arena the week before. And so that was important, formative years for me. How they could have ended up owing me $150, now that's a mystery, because they were paying me so weak that in order to get a balance of $150, you would think they must not have paid me for 3, 4, 5 matches or something.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So I think that maybe either Sheik got some money for sending us there, and then he took a little bit off of what I owed him, because Jerry Lawler might have paid. Also, Eric Embry had the book there at the time too. Sheik probably made money, especially knowing Sheik, so he was able to take some money off of my total. And when I got down to the 450, it was a while, and then I tried to pay Sheik off, and Sabu said, "Don't worry about it. You paid him enough." And I said, "Yeah, but that's not for you to tell. Let me pay him." And he said, "No, don't worry about it. I already paid him." And that's just how Sabu is. Sabu probably paid him the $450 that I still owed him. I don't know, but that's definitely within character of Sabu to do. So that was a piece of history that I wanted to share. But I also got something else too, two-parter. Yeah.
That's a good one, though. I like the Jarrett receipt. That's a good one.
Well, if I would have known that was going to work enough, I would have saved this for next week. But I thought I might need something else. I don't know if that's weak or not, but man, I got so much shit though. So we're doing this every week, dude. You just get that fucking logo ready with some sound.
You got it. Yeah.
Sound bite. So this is something that I found, a arbitration from 1999. This is This is a lawyer, writing me to tell me that I have court coming up because somebody is bringing a lawsuit, and this, you guys might have been there. This was in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I had just turned heel recently, although I came in as a heel, so I don't really know how that's possible. Anyway, I was a heel. Let's just stick to the facts. I'm wrestling Bobby Duncombe Jr. He's in the ring, and I'm down on the floor, and I'm talking shit to him while he's in the ring, just trying to get heat, saying, hey, fuck you, Bobby Fulton, you big Texas fucking cowboy wannabe motherfucker. I saw you fucking a horse out back. I love Bobby Duncan, by the way. He was one of my closest friends in the business. Sucked really bad when he passed, and I'm still close to his family. But anyway, I got my back right to the front row here, talking shit with the microphone, and somebody took a bottle of water and like dumped it on my head, Yeah. I think the bottle hit my head because he wasn't very tall, I definitely said the bottle hit my head, and I turned around and grabbed this motherfucker by the shirt, and I wanted really bad to heel on him, but he was like frozen stiff. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, just kind of like it felt like shit, like I can't let the momentum just stop right here. But he was just like frozen, and I had him and I had the mic, and I just said, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You just poured fucking water on me? Fucking dumbass. If anyone needs a shower here, it's you. Security, get rid of this piece of shit right here with the spit on his face." And Fonzie grabbed his bottle of water and was blowing his whistle and squirting up and down with the bottle, spraying water all over this guy. And I was like, he's this guy right here with the ripped up shirt, and like yanking on his shirt and just trying to humiliate him, trying to be a heel. Security came and got him, and he left. I had my match with Bobby. The guy brings a lawsuit from it.
Wow.
And I had to go and fly in to go to a mediation and give my deposition, which, the first time I'd done this or whatever. And that was as far as it went too, I think. But anyway, I'm telling them what happened, and then they're asking him what happened, and he even had witnesses. They all told different stories, and his story was that I picked him up over my head and I spun him around clockwise 1.5 times and then stopped, and then half the other way, and then threw him down against the guardrail, and just all kinds of bullshit. And anyway, somebody, it's arbitration, and somebody suggested, hey, what if we settle this, and give you fuck off money for $5,000? And they said, okay, fine. And now, boom, they're ruling against me. He gets $5,000. He gets to walk away. I'm pissed because I just feel like I just got fucked. I feel like that was bullshit. Not that I have to pay anything. It was coming from Paul and NECW, HHG, whatever the fuck. But I felt screwed, and I felt like, fuck no, that guy shouldn't get any money. One, this was why I thought that I just turned heel, because I was just doing the Mr. Monday Night gimmick. I was just starting to do the Monday Night Raw appearances, and people in ECW thought that I represented WWE, if you remember.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
people on WWE thought I represented ECW. So I was an outsider on both shows. This guy was so confused. He sued WWE first, and they just gave him $5,000. Didn't even look into it, nothing. Gave him the $5,000. Then he sued ECW, and ECW gave him the $5,000. You know, it's called fuck off money. It's cheaper to do that than to actually do any investigating and look into it, you know, just to make it go away. And so I get it now, but this was my first time experiencing it. And I was like, oh, you know, I couldn't believe I walked out of there and was like, I can't believe with all that going against him, he still gets paid. I got on the elevator and his lawyer, who was just trying to make me sound, you know, like an asshole, like I beat the guy up and shit, gets on the elevator with me and he goes, what a star fucker, huh? And I was like, oh. And I was like, go back in there and say that to the judge. What the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe it. I felt like this guy's a traitor. Now I get it, though. Now I realize that lawyers are like that in court. Like, they are just like us wrestling. When the bell time is active, you know, and it rings and they're in the courtroom and they're saying, Mr. D'Angelo, do you really expect us all to believe that you left your apartment and within 1.5 minutes you were across town? You can't expect us to. Well, that's your statement. Do I need to read it to you? Do you want me to read your own statement to you? And then right afterwards, when it's a break, they'll be like, oh, any plans for the weekend?
Yeah.
They do that. They fucking totally do that. And I get it now, but I didn't get it back then. I didn't understand it. And it's like, how can you not feel personal? Especially like when the G douches guy was doing it, they're looking at me for punitive damages, trying to get millions, trying to get as much money as they possibly can to fucking sink me. And then afterwards, then they just want to talk. You know, I'm like, no, fuck you. This is your job, not mine. Fuck you. Right. You're just someone trying to ruin my life. I wasn't going for it. He was kind of surprised. And I was like, you're a shitty lawyer. That's why we won anyway. That's what I told him.
Yeah, you're a shitty lawyer.
He was. They were stupid. Like, his lawyers were so amateurish and stupid. Like, they must have worked for free. I don't know. But anyway, I was, you know, I learned a lot. Now I know that's how it is. You know, the gloves come off when you're not on the clock. And then all of a sudden, like, G douche, the guy that's suing me, is talking to my lawyer's son. And they're talking about music and stuff like this. And then when it comes back, and my lawyer's, you know, like, yeah, thank you for talking to my son. You know, that was really nice of you. And then when the gloves come back on, then he's like, let's call this what it is, a money grab. You know, it just starts like, and G douche looked like, he looked like he couldn't believe it. Like, I thought we were friends.
Yeah. Yeah. What a wild thing that is. Just attorneys being attorneys and all that stuff.
Yeah. But they probably think the same thing about us kicking each other in the face. Yeah.
Right. Hey, I do want to let people know. I do know who Mark Canterbury is. Frankie, I do know. And I was referring to Tex Slashinger was Dennis Knight, Midian. So there you go.
Yep.
FYI.
Mark Canterbury, Dennis Knight. Yep.
Yeah.
Tex in Shanghai.
Tex in Shanghai.
All
right, Rob, we'll close it out with it. What a great 5-star history, though. I like both of those. I'm a big fan of it.
We're gonna keep him up, dude. Maybe we'll formulate it so when we're halfway through, you could just pop it up. And then we'll look professional. We'll look like we have meetings and stuff.
Right. Literally, our meeting was like a 5-minute one before we started. That was our production meeting. All right, we have a super chat from Frankie I forgot to put up here. He says, Rob, what is your top 5 technically proficient guys you've wrestled? If you had to name 5 guys you wrestled that were technically proficient, who would you think of?
What does proficient mean? I gotta ask Alexa what that means. I've never used that word.
Technically sound, like almost like you're thorough in the language of pro wrestling.
Okay. Okay.
So somebody, for example, somebody like a Bret Hart would be technically
Right,
proficient.
right. I mean, I'm thinking, Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah, that's a good one.
maybe Edge and Christian, um, um, maybe Jericho.
Oh, he's good.
Think, uh, and let's see who else. Who else am I gonna throw in there? Um,
Maybe someone we were talking about earlier.
someone you would never expect.
Ooh.
Let's say Triple H.
Oh,
Well,
that's a good one.
yeah.
All right, I like those 5.
I'm thinking of like I can't think of a time, when anything gets sloppy or so or oh, I didn't know I thought I didn't know you were gonna kick me like that and it fucked me up or all those guys. I can't picture that happening with any of them.
How about 2 other ones I'll name? Jerry Lynn, would he be
Yes,
technically proficient?
for sure.
How about Kurt Angle? Was he technically proficient?
Yeah, definitely. Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, that's a good one too. Like that. Nice. All right, that's good. This was a technically proficient show, I think, Rob, today.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have to look that word up. It seems like I want to make it like professional and efficient together. Like without like all the fat trimmed. So that it's all like mainstreamed with the most positive flow. Like that's how I want proficient to mean. I gotta.
Do you want me to read you the definition right now?
Sure.
All right. The word proficient is an adjective that means having or showing a high degree of skill, knowledge, or competence in a specific activity or subject.
Okay. Cool.
So I think we nailed it.
Those are all guys I'd put at the top of the list.
Absolutely.
Oh, show.
You are technically proficient, Rob.
Oh, I don't know. You never even worked with me.
From a visual perspective.
From a podcast perspective.
Yeah, from a podcast perspective.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool, Rob. Is there anything you want? What's going on with RVD420.com and damn good? What? Yeah, the damn good. Oh man, I have it up here. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, we'll catch up on that next week. I'm not really even sure. I'm not even sure what the exact status is right now on the rollout, which is started. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. Everything is good. What is this? We're into August now. Got Cauliflower Alley Club coming up. You coming in for that?
No, I wish I was. I'm not though.
Yeah, it's cool to see that grow and to see it get respect because it just feels like the Cauliflower Alley Club. It feels like it still is like grounded in the roots, and it feels like it's still connected to the old school, what wrestling was, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like whatever wrestling was back even before my time. They still that's still a big part of what Cauliflower Alley Club is. There's like old timers. I don't know who they are, and it's cool to see that get connected to today's industry through everything that Cauliflower Alley Club does, not only getting everyone there physically and with the award dinners, when everyone mingles or whatever, but the acknowledgments, it's like, on the same night you get somebody that through the first Body Slam in 1952 award, and then here's like a new up and coming star award at the same time, and it's just cool. I look forward to it.
It's a neat mix of legends, current wrestlers and yeah, old timers too, and historians like too. A lot of people like Brian Sullivan goes there, I think, every year too. A lot of good writers and everything. So it's like a hodgepodge of all these and fans. Like if you pay the membership, like you get the right to go to the event. There is like so it's a really neat communal aspect. That's
Yeah, it used to be just for wrestlers years ago. You know, I always talk about how when I got into wrestling, it was still a closed door society. With the Cauliflower Alley Club was a special membership for wrestlers only thing, and then they open it to fans, and of course we're able to generate a lot of money and do a lot of good with that money because they have projects where they help financially dig some wrestlers out of some holes or help pay hospital bills or whatever. Brian Blair has been the president for a long time now, and to know Brian is to love him. Let me just
he's a
put it
great
that
guy.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a great amount of work he does, and it's definitely a passion of his, and it's cool. It's like you see a lot of wives of wrestlers and stuff like that. I know Barbara Goodish, she kind of takes place in all that stuff too. Bruiser Brody's wife, and a lot of good stuff. So
Yeah, and Jim Brunzel's going to be there this year too. Jumping
wow,
Jim Brunzel. Yep.
that's pretty awesome. I think Brett's getting an honor. Bret Hart's getting an honor there this year. I think Ric
Right.
Flair is as well. So
Woo!
woo! So should be a fun one to go to. I'm gonna definitely have FOMO not being there. So how about
Cool.
that?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, awesome, Rob. Well, this was a blast. Good to honor Dory Funk and talk about him a little bit and share some of those stories, Rob. Good shit. So, all right, we'll have to do this next week, eh? Hey.
Yep. Yeah, next week. Peace out, hoes, everybody. Van Dam fam, appreciate you joining us every week. You guys are awesome. And we'll be back next week with a 5-star piece of history. And I need a signed copy of Blood and Fire with RVD and Brian Solomon. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Scoop one up. Scoop one up there. I think it's available on Amazon. Check it
It's
on out.
all Brian Solomon,
Yeah.
Brian Solomon. Fucking A, man. Yeah.
We'll have to get him on the show here at one point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Heck
That
yeah.
would be good. Cool. All right,
All
man.
right.
Everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Dominator.
Yeah, you betcha. See you guys next